All heard of love at first sight. We have all, at one point or another, wondered who our soulmate might be. Regardless if we are hopeless romantics or not, we have all thought about those things and the endless happiness that they would surely bring. And on top of that, it isn't just those of a young mind that thinks or hopes this way. People of any age are in search of love and have these hopes in mind. However, what are the foundations of a sure and lasting relationship? Is it being married to your soulmate? Is it marrying the person that was love at first sight to you? I'm here to argue that romantic love is not the only love that leads to a long-lasting and happy marriage. I'll be the first to admit that romance is fun. Romance makes us feel good. It is only human nature for us to be intrigued by the anticipation and unknown. But I also know that involving romance into a relationship is a major key to a happy marriage. And involving romance into our relationships only allows us to get to know each other in a different way and adds more depth to our relationships. Having that bond and connection with someone will only strengthen and validate a marriage. With regards to any romantic relationship, I think it's important to remember that there are two ships that must come before, one being friendship and the other being courtship. I said friendship before courtship because I think that it is such a crucial key that we all forget. Friendship is many things, but according to the Psychology Today journal, friendship is comprised of several things: common interests, history, common values, and equality. It also talked about what makes a friend worthy of the name: a commitment to the other's happiness, not asking them to put their friendship above their principles, and being a good influence for the other. I want to briefly talk about those first four principles that I mentioned. It is human nature to have certain interests in certain things. When we are able to find others that share those interests, it only becomes easier to hold conversations and develop a sort of comradeship with that individual. When I think about history and friendship, I often think of my best friends. I am always reminded of the fun experiences that I had with them that helped us grow closer together. With common values, it is easy to be friends with someone when you don't have to worry about always defending your values or defending the way that you do things. You can relax and know that the other accepts you for the way that you are. With equality, I think that it could mean a variety of things. But what I think the most important thing is that each counterpart of the friendship puts in effort and the other reciprocates when needed. When you are able to establish those things with your peers, or anyone for that matter, the second set of principles comes easily. You are truly committed to the other's happiness and you want to see them succeed. You want them to find happiness in their own life. You won't ask them to sacrifice things to maintain a friendship with you. Rather, you will sacrifice things to make sure that their well-being is taken care of and that they are happy. Lastly, you only desire to bring them up and set a good example for them to follow. I want you to think a little bit how these qualities and how they would make you feel in a romantic relationship with someone in a marriage, for someone or marriage. I often think of my dating experiences and how easy it was for me to identify the good ones from the bad. Some dates led to a relationship, short or long, and other dates led to a screeching halt of any kind of relationship and ever developing. However, that is all part of the experience. However, for those of you that don't know, courting is different than dating. Courting is being involved with someone romantically, typically with the intention of marriage. Courting is being involved with someone and intending for that to be a loving and secure relationship. According to Quentin McCall's website, in an article he wrote about courting and the 23 things that are essential to knowing about courtship, is very important for most to read, I think. Whether there are actually 23 things or not, there might be more, there might be less, but I will talk about a few things that matter most, especially when the intention to find the person you want to marry. Quentin mentions that courtship is a selfless relationship. If you are a selfless relationship, if you are a selfish person, you should not enter a mature relationship until you are prepared to share a life with somebody. He also said, a healthy courtship should bring out the best in you. Courtship is where you become best friends. courtship will allow you to have strong communication skills. It is a safe place, so you do not need to hide your feelings or emotions. And you should only enter courtship if you are ready for marriage. While you date, that is important for you to weed out what you want and what you don't want, so you can decide who you would like to court. But it is easy to see how each one of these principles has a singular goal in mind. If you or your partner do not have that goal, a healthy courtship cannot exist. With all of this being said, a relationship between a man and a woman is beyond complex. And everyone is unique in its own way, and not one is the same. Romance is crucial in order to develop a special bond with your partner. But I think that it is so important to remember that it is how that romance is developed and incorporated amongst other things that help a relationship function. As Dr. John Gottman said in his book, The 7 Principles of Making a Marriage Work, romance is a by far more humdrum approach to staying connected. It is kept alive each time you let your spouse know he or she is valued during the grind of everyday life. As comical as it may sound, romance actually grows when a couple are in the supermarket and the wife says, "Are we out of bleach?" And the husband said, "I don't know, but let me go grab some just in case," instead of just shrugging his shoulders apathetically. It grows when you know your spouse is having a bad day and you take the time out of your day to leave a voicemail with words of encouragement. It grows in successful instances. A husband and a wife are making a choice to turn toward each other rather than away. Turning toward is the basis of emotional connection, romance, passion, and a good sex life. As I conclude, I want to again acknowledge that the excitement of romance is very important and a crucial part of a relationship. However, the lasting romance that everyone wants in their relationships, it starts beyond our courtship, and it starts within our friendships. By taking the time to get to knowing someone in a variety of different scenarios, by learning to respect someone, and by having the utmost concern for their well-being, that is when that lasting romance will be initialized. It is not the romance alone that leads to a healthy marriage. It is all the work that's put in on the side. As President Spencer W. Kimball once said, "Soulmates are fiction and an illusion, and while every young man and young woman will seek with all diligence and prayerfulness to find a mate with whom life can be most compatible with, yet it is certain that any good man and any good woman can have happiness and success in a successful marriage if both are willing to pay the price." I encourage those to remember that as we approach this special time in our lives and are deciding upon our spouse, we're remembering the first 2 ships and how important they are. Putting in the work and time will only lead to a more fulfilling relationship, and that romance that we all seek and find exciting will surely follow. But must I remind you that that is not the love that will lead to a long and lasting relationship. It is the work that is put in on the side and allowing that friendship and courtship to develop that will help us in our future marriages.